This is my second video update, and we have got to update the story on the missile strike at the Odessa port, and we finally have an official statement from the Russian government, from the Ministry of Defense, as well as from the Foreign Ministry, Maria Zakharova, via her Telegram channel. We have the Russian Ministry of Defense saying that they destroyed Ukrainian warship, as well as a warehouse with U.S. Harpoon missiles in Odessa's port. And that is the official statement via the Russian Ministry of Defense. So the missile strikes were aimed at Harpoon missiles and Ukraine warships. And Maria Zakharova, by the way, she wrote on her Telegram, let me pull it up here. Maria Zakharova explains the strike on the major Ukrainian port. She wrote that the Caliber missiles destroyed part of the military infrastructure in the port of Odessa. She was responding to the comments by Ukrainian President Zelensky, who described the attack as barbarism and claimed Russian Caliber missiles destroyed the very possibility of statements on the need for dialogue and any agreement with Moscow. So that is Maria Zakharova, a high-level government official, also saying that the Caliber missiles destroyed military infrastructure, warehouse, warship, and Harpoon missiles is the military infrastructure that she is referring to. And this is interesting because what the hell was Turkey's defense minister talking about when he said that he spoke with Russian military officials, and they said that they had nothing to do with these missile strikes and they were going to investigate it. And then we had the reports that the missile strikes really didn't do much damage, that 2 missiles were taken out, and the other 2 missiles that did manage to get through the air defense systems did little damage. So we still have to, I guess we have to wait and get some more information, some more news about what really happened at, oh wow. Little kid and is asleep. It's a hot day, everybody. It is like 40 degrees in Athens right now. And that has nothing to do with any global warming or anything like that. This is how it always is. Towards the end of July, middle of August, it is hot. Always hot. It is absolutely normal. That is why it is called summertime here in Athens. There is no need for alarm with regards to global warming or climate change or anything like that. End of July, August, it is always 35 to 40 degrees, standard, very humid, very hot. All the cats that live on the streets, they're lounging around, sleeping, and just trying to find some shade, most of the time under cars to get out of the sun and wait until the nighttime when things cool down. Anyway, so that is the update with the Odessa port. In my morning video, I said that the Russian government had not made any official statements as of yet. And sure enough, in the afternoon, right now it is 3:15 Greek time, the Russian government has come out with a statement. The only question that I have is what was the deal with the Turkish foreign ministry and the Russian foreign ministry saying that they had nothing to do with the Odessa port? And what is the deal with the reports saying that minimal damage occurred at the Odessa port? So that is the update there. Let's do a couple of quick stories so I can get this video up. This will be a short one. Yeah, I'll do a clown world as well. The Biden White House, they do not They do not want to supply Ukraine with MQ-1C Gray Eagle attack drones. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. The reason they don't want to give Zelensky these drones, well, the first reason is that the Russian air defense does not allow Kiev to use aviation, so the Gray Eagle will be shot down on the first mission, i.e. the Russians control the airspace. That's what they're saying here. And the second reason why the Biden White House does not want to give these Gray Eagle attack drones to Ukraine is that the United States is afraid that the drones will end up in the hands of the Russian armed forces if the Ukrainian army is defeated. Why am I bringing this up? For two reasons. The first reason is that the Biden White House is admitting that the Russians control the airspace, i.e. we don't want to give these drones because the Russians will not allow these drones to fly. They will take them down, which is pretty much an admission that Russia controls the airspace over Ukraine. That is the first reason I'm bringing this story up. The second reason I'm talking about this is because the Biden White House is admitting that they're afraid that these drones will be captured by the Russians, maybe sold to the Russians, captured by the Russians, and the Russians will reverse engineer these drones, and they'll get a peek under the hood and learn about the U.S. technology that goes into these weapons. And to me, that is an admission that the Russians have managed to capture, perhaps purchase, other valuable American military technology. I don't know, maybe say HIMARS systems. Maybe they captured or bought French technology like those Caesars, that military equipment. I don't know, just a guess there. But I think this is admission, without a doubt, that the U.S. military understands that the Russians are getting possession of American military equipment. Either they are capturing it or they are buying it. And to me, this statement from the Wall Street Journal via the Biden White House is more proof that the Russians do indeed have a HIMARS in their possession. How they got it, capture or purchase, I'll stick to the purchasing part. I think the Russians just bought it on the black market. I think the Ukrainian guys said, look, we got, at the moment, we've got, how many do they have? 12? We've got 12 of these. You guys have taken out 3, but let's just, let's give you this one so you can check it out. And the Russians said, sure, how much? And the Ukrainians said, give us 180,000 USD for that, for this HIMARS. And off it went to Russia. That's what probably happened. Anyway, I thought that is an interesting story. And I've got one more update with regards to my morning video. And that has to do with Orban's comments about the war and how Europe is losing the war, how the United States is losing the war, how this is indeed a war between the United States and Russia, and only those two countries can end this, and how the collective West needs to rethink its entire strategy vis-a-vis Ukraine, because what they are doing right now is simply not working. And Orban also said that the international community, the entire world, is not with the collective West. They're actually against the collective West with regards to this conflict. Anyway, we now have Ukraine officials coming out and blasting Orban. And what are they saying about Orban? Well, take a wild guess. Yeah, Putin apologist, Kremlin propaganda. You know, the usual. They are saying that the Hungarian prime minister is a perfect example of is a classic example of Russian propaganda. His statements are a classic example of Russian propaganda. This is according to the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry spokesman, Oleg Nikolenko. Orban said on Saturday that the decision to impose sanctions on Moscow and supply Kiev with heavy weapons had turned the U.S. and NATO member states into de facto participants in the conflict while failing to deliver results. I think Orban said that the collective West is like a car with 4 flat tires. In other words, the collective West is losing really, really bad to Russia. And they are. The collective West is losing really, really bad to Russia. Responding in a Facebook post, Nikolenko said, "The idea that sanctions did not shake Russia represent a classic example of Russian propaganda." The foreign ministry spokesman claimed that the sanctions are effective as they have significantly reduced the capabilities of the Russian military, while Western arms supplies have helped to save the lives of Ukrainians. No, the Western arms supplies have actually led to more Ukrainians losing their lives. As far as the sanctions yielding results with regards to Russia's military capabilities, I don't see it. As a matter of fact, the more this war moves along, the easier it appears to be that Russia is gaining more and more territory and is winning. And as I said in my morning video, it looks like the Russians now are preparing, according to Douglas Macgregor and other analysts as well, who agree with Colonel Douglas Macgregor, that the Russians seem to be gearing up for a big push to end the war and deliver a knockout blow to the Zelensky regime. But Nikolenko claimed that if sanctions and weapons were ineffective, the Kremlin would not have used crazy resources to stop them. Okay, Moscow has been warning the West against supplying Kiev with weapons, saying it will not prevent Russia from achieving its military goals, but will lead to extra casualties. Russian officials have also pointed to the boomerang effect of Washington sanctions. Yeah. In this case, I think you have to believe Orban and not the Ukraine foreign ministry spokesman. Orban is 100% right. The Prime Minister of Hungary nailed it in his statements on Saturday. The sanctions are not working. The Russian economy, all the forecasts, even by collective West mainstream media financial sites like Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, they're all saying that the Russian economy is looking really, really good. Key interest rates were cut from 10% to, I believe, 8%, maybe even lower than 8%. The ruble remains strong, and it is at a really nice level for Russia right now. It's at like 58 or 59 to the USD, and that's a really good level for the Russian economy with regards to imports and exports. They want it at that sweet spot of around 60, maybe even a little bit over 60. If they can hold it there, then the ruble is at a really nice spot. Russia has all the resources. It's not talking about gas shortages. It's not talking about food shortages, a record grain wheat harvest. It's not talking about oil shortages. As a matter of fact, Russia even made a statement the other day saying that if the collective West decides to put an oil cap, if they try to implement some sort of collective West cap on the oil price, Russia will simply just not deliver oil. Actually, Bloomberg is saying that oil exports from Saudi Arabia to the EU have hit record levels. Well, yeah, there is oil leaving Saudi Arabia to the EU, but where do you think most of that oil is coming from? It's Russian oil. It's Russian oil that is going from Saudi Arabia, or is going to India, or is going to all these places, and then it's making its way back to the EU, and it's being shipped most likely on Greek tankers as well. So, yeah, the Russians are winning top to bottom, left to right, in every which direction, whether it's the military conflict or whether it's the economic war of attrition. You don't hear about all this palace intrigue taking place in the Kremlin, do you? You don't hear about all these FSB intel guys getting fired. You don't hear about arguments with Putin and Shoigu, and none of this stuff is taking place in the Kremlin. But right now in Kiev, you got all kinds of crazy things going on, all kinds of firings, and then walking back the firings and saying they've been suspended, and saying that Ukraine officials are actually Russian spies and they're working with the Russians, and Sullivan saying that Zelensky's life is in danger, and just all of this craziness happening in Kiev. You can just sense that the wheels are starting to come off. And Orban knows it. Orban knows it, and Orban is doing the collective West a favor. They're going to demonize him, but he's doing them a favor. He is saying, get out now. Much like Draghi. Draghi got out. Draghi wanted out. He didn't want to be the Italian prime minister when everything falls apart come end of summer, winter time. Draghi knows what's coming. He said, I better get off this ship. It's time for me to retire somewhere. And he understood that. And Orban is basically warning the EU. He's warning the collective West, guys, stop. Pull back. Roll back the sanctions. Let's get the United States and Russia at the negotiating table, and let's stop kidding ourselves that this is some sort of Ukraine-Russia conflict. That is what Orban said in his speech. His words, not mine. He's the one that said this can only be resolved by the Russians and the Americans. Orban is sending a warning to the collective West. If we don't stop now, then we are finished. And on the flip side, the foreign minister of Hungary went to Russia to make sure that when the poo-poo hits the fan, come winter, Hungary is okay. So he wanted to ink some gas deals, some energy deals. Yeah, they're hedging their bets. They know what's coming. Hungary knows what's coming. Listen to what Orban said on Saturday. Look at the actions from Peter Szijjártó, the foreign minister of Hungary, and his trip to Moscow. Look at everything that Hungary's doing. They know what's coming. And Orban is sending his final warnings to the collective West. Of course, he's going to now get demonized. He's a Putin troll. He's a Russian propagandist. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Anyway, let's see. Let's do a clown world. Trump, by the way, gave a speech, and he said that pretty much the Biden administration has bungled Ukraine in spectacular fashion. He said that the United States has given, what did Trump say? Yeah, we've so far given more than $60 billion to Ukraine, while the European countries, who are obviously far more affected than us, have given a tiny fraction of that number. Trump said if he were still in office, he could have gone over there to Europe and said, listen, you're going to put up the same money or more money than us. And they would have done it gladly, Trump claimed. He was speaking at some sort of event in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida. Yeah, no doubt Trump is right that the U.S. has given $60 billion, and that is a hell of a lot more money given to Ukraine than the European Union, than the EU. But I disagree with Trump that he would have gone to Europe and said, you guys are going to match us dollar for dollar, euro for euro. Whatever we give to Ukraine, you're going to give the same amount and more. I think if Trump did that, if he went to Europe, if he was president and went to Europe and said, we're going to give 50 billion, Europe, you have to give 50 billion as well. I think the European Union would have been like, Zelensky, nah, he's got to go. We don't want any part of this war. If Trump forced the EU to give up 50 billion and match the US in spending with Ukraine, man, the European Union would have been like Roadrunner, and like the Roadrunner like speeding off, like whoop. That's how fast the EU would have been distancing itself from Zelensky and Ukraine. No doubt about it. No freaking doubt about it. At the end of the day, the EU politicians, for them, the American money getting funneled into Ukraine is absolutely great because they get a cut of that money. You see, the European politicians, they're slippery characters. They sit there and they say, okay, Bidenopoulos, Greece's favorite son, by the way, Joe Bidenopoulos. They say, okay, Bidenopoulos, yeah, 50 billion, go for it. Give it. And the Europeans are sitting there and they're saying, this is great. We're going to skim a couple of billion off the top from U.S. taxpayers. Thank you, Joe Bidenopoulos. And yeah, that's the way it works. The EU kleptocrats are loving the American money that gets sent into Ukraine, as do the American kleptocrats. But for the EU kleptocrats, it's even better because they don't have to give up as much of their money to Zelensky. They just take from the American pot. So that was Trump and his statements there at the summit. Let's do a clown world. And this clown world is coming from a Ukrainian intel chief who is saying that there's a Putin lookalike. Russian President Vladimir Putin may have used a lookalike for his trip to Iran this week, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence service, the GUR, has suggested. During an interview on Ukrainian TV channel TSN on Friday, Major General Kirill Budanov was asked to comment on Putin's health during the Russian leader's recent trip to Iran. Quote, "I will not give you a direct answer, but will give you a hint," Budanov replied. "Look, please, at the moment, when the supposed Putin is leaving the plane, is he Putin at all?" Budanov did not elaborate, but Ukrainian media said he was referring to rumors that Putin occasionally uses lookalikes for public events. They also said that Budanov was talking about claims that Putin was limping while exiting the plane in Tehran. Is this statement from Budanov before CIA Director Burns said Putin is too healthy, or after? That's what I would like to know. So it looks like this Ukraine intel official did not get the memo from CIA Director Burns, which is that Putin is too damn healthy. He's too healthy. We have to make him sicker. He's too healthy, according to Burns. And Budanov is coming out and saying that Putin is limping and he uses a lookalike and all of this nonsense. So I don't know, maybe that's going to be the last statement we're going to ever hear about Putin's health. And this Ukrainian official just does not read the article from the news reports from the Aspen Security Summit and from CIA Director Burns. Anyway, I will leave the video there from coming to you from Greece, an area known as Bankarati. And I'm going to get this video up, which had a lot of updates from my morning video, the Duran.locals.com. Please hit that notification bell as well if you're watching this on YouTube. And please follow me on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, and definitely check out the Duran's Telegram channel. All the links are down below. Take care.